no other answer.
There's no other answer. It's the
an
answer
imperative.
to everything.
It's a global survival imperative.
How long have we got?
10 years.
So we better get cracking.
We better get cracking.
The home for carbon is in the soil, not in the atmosphere.
Because all of the carbon in soil ultimately comes from the atmosphere. So if we can get more carbon into soil, we can reduce CO2 levels in the atmosphere by probably at least 100 parts per million.
Yeah, so traditionally this is how we've done it, and this type of management is what really stuffed our soil.
Conventional, traditional I guess you'd say, farming and grazing practices do result in a loss of soil carbon.
We know that we've removed about 70% of the organic carbon in our soils compared to what was there when we started with agriculture 200 years ago.
So soil has a huge potential for soaking up carbon, and almost everywhere where there is agriculture there is soil that is depleted of carbon, which means that soil is losing that resilience that it needs to continue being productive.
Poor quality soil. Yeah, our soils are degraded that much that we don't have the nutrients in the food. And it is that simple.
Zinc, magnesium, calcium, all of these things come from soil. All of the things that keep us alive and keep us healthy come from soil. If they're not in soil, they're not in the food that we eat.
As we improve our soil, soils then become more nutrient dense. Then food grown on that soil becomes more nutrient dense. Then you don't have the health problems associated with, deficiencies of nutrients or vitamins. So if we improve our soil, everything else starts to fall into place.
Yeah.
It is the key to it.
I was told that you can buy a carrot with no vitamin A.
That's right. You can buy an orange without any vitamin C. Yeah. You can. The chemicals, fertiliser, herbicides, pesticides we put on, very detrimental to soil, as in it's killing soil microbial life. Microbial life is essential in getting nutrients into plants.
When you have a living soil, it actually contains water, it holds water.
Carbon is a product of good soil and water management.
So this soil now on our measurements, on our carbon measurements, now holds 360,000 litres per hectare of extra water compared to the neighbouring places.
Is that so?
Yep.
You can measure that?
You can measure. Oh yes, and that's related to carbon in soil. So the carbon's increased by over 200%, and that's increased our water holding capacity in the soil as well. We didn't drought feed, and we didn't run out of water in our dams.
We've saved by not feeding between $500,000 and $800,000 over the dry years of the drought.
The more carbon in the soil, the amount of water that it can actually hold goes up dramatically. So it also filters and cleans the water as it moves through the soil profile. Now, if we've got to change our behaviour to put it back, it's very easy to put back, but we can't put it back by using the same practices that we use to remove it. That's pretty logical, I think.
The interesting thing about soil carbon is that we already know a lot of the solution.
I mean, it's real simple stuff. We've just stuffed up and done a bad job on it up until this point. Implementing it is easy, but getting enough people on board, enough farmers on board, adopting these regenerative farming techniques is a tricky thing.
Soils are the foundation for life on land. The climate problem is very much like a health problem in a human body, except that it involves the health of the whole planet. But any doctor will tell you what you need to do is start today. Yes, start now, because early action is much more valuable than late action. It's exactly the same with climate change.
God, I'm scared.
It is, it's scary stuff, isn't it?
No, it's really easy to fix. It's really easy
Why
to
am I
fix.
terrified? Because
Yeah.
this is the answer to everything.
Yeah.
And it's changing people's mindsets and educating them and hopefully doing it in
Very
time.
slow.
We've got 10 years.
Yeah.
And as Michael said, we're stuffed.
Yeah.
We're just...
The planet will be fine, it's just that we might be here.